It's my absolute pleasure to talk to a music industry icon. This Grammy-nominated musician, producer, engineer has sold over 20 million albums in a career spanning over 40 years. Mr. Alan Parsons, sir, it is my great pleasure to be talking to you. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for doing this. Now, your career, as I mentioned, spans over 40 years. Let's go back to the beginning if we can. As a teen, you took on your job with a division of EMI as an apprentice on your way to becoming an engineer in the studio, yes?
Yes, it all started at a department of EMI that was linked to Abbey Road Studios, and then eventually I got the job at Abbey Road when I was about 19.
You were an apprentice on the way to becoming an engineer, and you were a night apprentice becoming a blues guitar god.
I certainly wouldn't have used those words. I did play blues guitar, but I was far from a god. I was just somebody trying to play like Eric Clapton. Yeah.
You were apprenticing. You were on your way. Looking at different interviews that you did, you were talking about Sgt. Pepper being so instrumental to you, and in fact, maybe taking you on a different career path towards more engineering and producing.
Yes, I pretty much put my guitar on the top shelf when I got a job at Abbey Road and watched people far more talented than myself as a musician do their job. My job was to learn how to engineer and produce, so that's what I did. And
of course, your career track record speaks for itself. You started at Abbey Road in 1968 as an assistant engineer. Yeah, that sounds about right. It was towards the end of '68, and then 20 years old when I worked with the Beatles for the first time. So you would have come into Abbey Road just after the White Album was completed, maybe? Were they finished with the White Album? Exactly. Well, they were actually putting the finishing touches the very week that I started at Abbey Road. They were just polishing it off. Right. Well, I'm a huge Beatles fan, so I'm assuming then you would have started your first work then possibly with them would have been maybe Let It Be? The very first encounter with them was Let It Be, yes. That was, the last album to be, the first of the two to be recorded, although it was the last to be released. And Abbey Road followed that. Right. Under the leadership of my absolute hero, Mr. George Martin. And what an experience for you at 21 years old working with George Martin. Oh, yes, it was indeed. And I still, to this day, have the greatest admiration for him and respect. I really do. Everything that he gave you is well-deserved, I'll tell you. Oh, thank you. Let's talk about one of my favorite facts about you, in fact, that I'd read about years ago. You were on the rooftop, were you not? Were you at the famous rooftop sessions? Yes, I was, yeah. I was up there essentially during the rooftop session just to make sure that everything worked and there weren't any problems. You can see me in a couple of the photos taken on that day. Just fantastic. Well, I just thought it was brilliant, and the fact you would have been on hand working that whole session. Although I don't think I'm seen in the movie because I was actually standing behind one of the movie cameras. So the worst place to be exposed. Wow. You continued after the Beatles. You worked on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, yes? Just a couple of sessions, yes. So, I can add the fact that I worked with Phil Spector to my TV. So that's quite something. It was recorded over quite a long period, and quite a few of the Abbey Road gods did work on that. But I did rather more work with Paul as a fellow. And now you were the engineer on Red Rose Speedway for McCartney, yes? Yes, that's right. Sir Paul. Sir Paul, yeah. Now, why is there not a Sir Alan? That is bugging me right now. Oh, I'm working on that. Okay, that's good. But you have to be recommended for a knighthood. You have to get people to Her Majesty herself. Right? I will send a recommendation in for you, Alan. I'm sure she's on Facebook. I'll send her a plug. Yes, you have to like me on her Facebook. I will do that for sure, Alan. Now, 1970, you're the ripe old age of 22 years old, and you are engineering Pink Floyd's album Atom Heart Mother. I was actually mixing that. It was essentially being the assistant engineer during the recording part, and then the engineer at the time, Peter Brown, had to go off and work with somebody else, and I was available for the mixing, so they said, well, you've done all the recording, you know all the tunes, so we'll let you loose on the board to mix it, so that's what I did. It seems like a very hands-on time back then with I guess, obviously the experts looking over your shoulder, but they really let you get in there and get your feet wet, yes? I mean, one of the marks of Pink Floyd music was, especially in those years, that the complexity of it meant that one guy couldn't actually mix it all
just too many faders to move up and down. So everyone in the band had a fader to push up and down, and there was no automation. You see, I mean, these days the computer remembers everything you do and reproduces it on the next pass of the tape. But back then there was no automation, and each mix was a performance.
That would have been my bucket list complete. And now in 1971, at 23, you began engineering work on, and I take this from a quote off the internet, the sonic benchmark for a generation of art rock enthusiasts. Wow. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Wow, I need to write that down.
This got you your first Grammy nomination.
It did, yes.
These are the days, of course, you were hands-on, literally hands-on, especially money. You were hands-on measuring the actual tape, making sure that it synced up to the beat.
That's right, yes. I mean, we discovered that if we, unless we actually measured the exact length of tape that carried each sound in that loop, then it was rhythmically incorrect. So we had to make each sound last exactly the same amount of time.
Right.
It would have been a piece of cake if you're doing it on hard disk recorder. Pro Tools these days, but it took most of the day to get that right at the time. Yeah.
When you started, were you 4-track? Now, going back to EMI again, it was 4-track?
When I started, it was. But Dark Side was 16-track.
Right.
16-track by now.
Right. But I'm talking about going way back to when you were starting with EMI. Was that it was a 4-track?
Yes, 4-track was the norm at that time, and in fact, a lot of recordings were still being done, live to stereo. And
then, of course, Sgt. Pepper's another 4-track. I'm still blown away by that whole feat, but that's another story in itself.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible that it was recorded on 4 tracks.
Well, it's so fun for me to talk to you, Alan. All the things you've done through your career, working with the most minute amount of technology available, and then coming into today's day and age and being able to just move along right with it. I have to thank you personally for one of my favorite Dark Side moments, and that is Claire Torrey.
All right. Yeah.
Great Gig in the Sky. That was your suggestion, was it not, to bring Claire Torrey in to sing vocals?
Yeah, she'd been, around Abbey Road Studios doing sessions, and I just thought, having heard the Floyd track, that she would be ideal for the part. She really had no real direction on what she was to do. They just said, go in and sing. Right. She started wailing, oh yeah, baby kind of stuff, and the Floyd said, no words, just melody.
It's so melodic. Her voice sounds like an instrument. It honestly makes me cry when I hear this song. If I'm in the right mood, it's amazing. The next phase of your career, I guess, after all these great events at Abbey Road, and of course I'm talking about the Alan Parsons Project.
At that time, I'd already started to have some success as a producer.
Yes, of course.
I'd had a couple of chart hits with Pilot and Cockney Rebel by that time.
You got your second Grammy nomination working with one of my favorite bands, actually, at the time, was Ambrosia.
Yeah, they were a great band. I mean, I'm still in touch with the front man, David Pack, so still good friends with him. I'm standing here now, having had 11 nominations but no wins, so I'm still looking for it.
Thank you for clarifying that. I was going to ask you about how many nominations. I had actually heard 13, so 11 it is.
11 that I know of.
All right, well, I've nominated you for 2 more, Alan.
Oh, well, that's very kind.
That's what I do. The Queen and the Grammys. I'm doing what I can for you. Is it true that you turned down Pink Floyd's request to work on Wish You Were Here to start up the Alan Parsons Project?
It's vaguely true. I mean, they had offered me a job. Although it was a very generous offer, it just seemed right that I should, pursue a production career rather than an engineering one. And, I don't think I'd have ever got rich as Pink Floyd's engineer. I mean, I certainly didn't get rich on Dark Side of the Moon because I was just paid a staff salary of about $50 a week,
Of course. And then you meeting up with Eric Wolfson and what became of the Alan Parsons Project, the 10-album span that you guys were together, yes?
Right. He was another producer, working at Abbey Road Studios, and we just bumped into each other and actually did a session together on an artist he was working with. And we just got talking, and he said, I think you need a manager. So we signed on the dotted line for that. He became our manager, and then within a very short time, we had decided to make a concept album with songs that we would write together.
Yes, 1976, Tales of Mystery and Imagination.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And 10 albums later, the rest, they say, is Alan Parsons Project history.
10 albums later, here we are.
Alan, it's just amazing. I look at your resume of work. It's quite amazing. You've definitely made the most of 40 years in the business. I have to tell you, my hat's off to you. I have so much respect for you, Alan. Now, I'm a big Steely Dan fan, and you know how, of course, Becker and Fagan worked with a lot of different session musicians, but basically kept the core to themselves. Was that how you and Eric worked together as well?
We tended to favor the same players, yes.
Do you have a favorite, Alan? Do you have a favorite time, like when everything just seemed to really click musically for you?
Well, it was very exciting making Tales of Mystery because, you know, it was the first of a new kind of album, you know, the producer's album. It was really...
the concept album.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, the producer was in charge of everything. You know, it wasn't a band, it was just a producer's album, so that was kind of exciting.
Yes. What came out of your head went on to the acetate.
That's right.
Now, I'm everything that you've done, I'm looking at 10 albums, 7 top 40 albums, 8 top 40 singles, tunes like Games People Play, Don't Answer Me, Time, and Eye in the Sky, which I am proud to say, although only hit number 3 in the United States of America, hit number 1 right here in Canada.
Oh, it did?
It's us Canadians. Oh. Yes, it did. Number 1 here in Canada. Mm-hmm. We love you, Alan.
That's great.
That's what we do.
You know, I spent a short time living in Vancouver.
Yes.
When I was 9 years old.
It's changed a little bit, Alan.
Oh, I know. I've seen it.
We've grown up a little bit. We've had quite a time. But we welcome you back, though. When are you coming up through here again, Alan? When can we catch you?
Well, we'd love to. We just don't seem to have found a concert promoter with enough faith in us to put a show on for us. So if there's any listening, please give my manager a call. Let's do a gig let's do a tour of Canada.
Well, trust me, Alan, if I can Facebook the Queen, I can arrange a tour for you.
All right.
2005, you were one of the first Western artists to perform at Moscow's Kremlin Palace.
I think we were one of the first, yes. I mean, we thought it was just a cute name for a nightclub or something. But
lo and behold.
It turned out to be actually inside the walls of the Kremlin. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
You had to go back to the hotel and put your good clothes on.
That's right.
Looking at the internet, I noticed your Art and Science of Sound video series. That's absolutely fantastic, Alan. That's an amazing project.
Oh, well, thanks.
Are you still involved in that? I saw the website. Are you still hands-on with that?
Oh, very much so, yeah. I mean, we're constantly promoting it, advertising it, and I've been doing a series of in-studio masterclasses for attendees that show interest and come and watch a session.
Well, I tell you, I've been all over that website. I thoroughly enjoy it, and am now sadly I am going broke streaming all your videos. So that's my my new passion now.
And the video series is at artandscienceofsound.com.
That's right. I will post web links on the website, and people can have a click and a look. Why, of all the sins on the earth, are you not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Who do I have to call?
Oh, that's another call you have to make, is it?
You see, I'm going to be busy after this interview, Alan.
All right.
You should have been there ages ago, and I'm telling you right now, if it takes 1,000 mouse clicks, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, well, thank you. I shall think of you if ever I get there.
Alan, I'll tell you what, I trust me, this has been the best 20 minutes, and I got to thank you very much for taking this time out.
Oh, thank you. You're also a terrible liar, but...
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, man, my nose is not growing. Alan, you started in Abbey Road as a teenager, and you've become a cultural icon. The nickname for Dr. Evil's death laser from Austin Powers is the Alan Parsons Project. Your song, Sirius, of course, a sporting anthem at the Chicago Bulls games and Super Bowl. You've been a great sport, Alan, and I wish you nothing but success with everything else that you do. Check out the website, of course, alanparsonsmusic.com, and it's been a real pleasure, Alan. Thanks for taking the time out to talk.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
You take care now.
All right, take care. Yourself. Bye-bye.
Everything Alan Parsons can be found out at alanparsonsmusic.com.